Hey everybody, it is Professor Parish, and we are on week 7 of English 122. If you can believe it, we have this week and finals week left. So we have really entered the home stretch of class right now. So I don't want to waste any time. I want to jump right into what we're doing this week. We do have a little bit to go over, and so I want to make sure that everybody knows what's going on. So I am recording this Monday. I had a power outage yesterday, so I couldn't very well record. So I'm going to record this now. So I'm going to minimize myself over here. I hope you all had a great weekend. We are going to talk about week 7 though, because there's quite a little bit to go over. I will go ahead and say, if you've not watched the week 6 video, I've seen where not a lot of people have watched it. Please make sure to go back and watch it. So far I've read everybody's topics for paper 4 and they all look good, but just make sure you've watched that video if you haven't already. What's due for this week? So by Friday, we're going to talk about the peer review discussion forum very, very soon. But before we do that, I want to go down here and show the assignments that are going to be due Sunday. So we have one more reading response, our last one, and I'm going to open up the guidelines for it here. The last reading response we do, it's actually last spring when Notre Dame burned down, so mark the typo there. But with the Notre Dame Cathedral burning down, I really liked this video by Lindsay Ellis. We've seen her before on here in this class, but she does a review of Notre Dame and the cathedral and kind of the history behind it. And it's actually, her video here is sort of like a research paper, like what I would expect for paper 4 if she was a student of mine doing a paper about the Notre Dame Cathedral and the Hunchback of Notre Dame and that text being adapted over time. So it is a long video. I will go ahead and tell you that. It's about 38 minutes long, so it is a pretty long video, but it's really good and it's very interesting. I learned a lot about Notre Dame that I did not know before. And as somebody that watches a lot of Disney movies, I didn't know a lot about the source material for the Hunchback of Notre Dame either, and now I do. So basically just watch the video, and there are 3 questions about adaptation, about argumentation, about topic forming down here below, and then everybody has done really well in the reading responses so far, so it's basically just answering the questions like what you guys have been doing for the last 3 reading responses. And it's our last one, so yay. So that's the reading response. What is also due this week is the MLA exam. It's exactly like our other exams. You get one time to take it, but you can save your exam as you go. There is no time limit. It's just out of 25 points, and it's strictly on MLA citation formatting, which everyone has done really well on overall in the class. So I'm not worried about you guys doing bad on this exam. It shouldn't be very hard. It's just going to be a review of what we've been doing the last few weeks. So that's our last exam other than the final exam. So again, we're winding things down. So there's the MLA exam, the reading response, and then we have 2 other assignments. We have the annotated bibliography, which I'm saving for last to go over, and then our peer review discussion. So the peer review, what we're doing is that in your final paper, you don't get a chance to revise the final paper. You've had a chance to revise papers 1 through 3, but paper 4, since it's due next week during finals week, you don't really get any revisions. So what I want to do is give you a chance to have your work seen by myself, by your peers, and give you feedback on that before we do the push into the final paper. So some of you have already submitted a draft, which is awesome. Samantha, Brody, good on you. So what you'll want to do is you'll just want to submit your draft. And I'm going to click on Samantha's and see if she, I'm sure she did. Yep. So Samantha did what she was supposed to do. You can see that she's talking about her topic of her book, of her paper, which is about censorship. Awesome topic. And what she's doing is she's attached her paper right here that you can click on and review. So what I want you all to do is to, let me see if I can save that. All right, we'll go back. I wanted to save it as keeping it unread so I can go back and read your paper, Samantha. But basically, what you're going to do is post your paper in an attachment like what Samantha did there, and then your job is to review 2 peer drafts. So you don't have to do 4 reviews or responses like you normally do, just 2. And I want you to make sure in those 2 responses that you're very thorough. You know, don't just say, hey, you did a great job, because that's not helping the author. You can be really polite and constructive in your criticism. You can say, hey, I loved this about your paper, A, B, and C. But, you know, if you want to go back, check the grammar, here's something you can change with the citations. Maybe in paragraph 3, you can have a better transition. You can be really polite and offer constructive criticism. I just don't want your response to be, oh, that was great, and it offer nothing for your reader to take away from that, if that makes sense. So, your draft itself is going to be worth a set of points, and then your responses are going to be worth a set of points as well. There will be deductions if your draft isn't posted by Friday, but still post your draft even if you don't get it in by Friday, so I can look at it and give you some feedback. As far as how long the drafts have to be for the discussion forum, my biggest rule of thumb is try to get as much done as possible. I know this is a longer paper, but try to get as much done as you can, because the more you get done and the more you post here, the more I will be able to give you feedback on. If you just wrote a paragraph, that's not going to be a lot, and you're going to have to kind of wing the rest of the paper knowing that nobody's going to give you extra feedback. That being said, I do want you to at least get half of the paper done for the draft. So if the paper's 6 to 8 pages, at least get 3 to 4 full pages completed before you submit it to the discussion forum. But like I said, the more you get done, the more you get feedback on. And if you can, go ahead and do your works cited as well, because that way I can give you feedback and corrections on the works cited in case if something isn't right. But I'm really excited about the discussion forum. I think most of the students that take this class online really like the discussion forum for week 7, because it's a chance for you guys to read each other's work and actually see how each other have been doing in the class so far. So that's always exciting. So that is the peer review. And that leaves us with the annotated bibliography. So in our syllabus handouts and videos page, if you scroll down to week 7, there is a bibliography presentation, and I've got it pulled up here. So what is an annotated bibliography? Well, basically, an annotated bibliography, annotated just means notes or summary, and a bibliography is your works cited page. So what this is this is its own assignment. It's just for a chance for you to show me some of the sources you're going to use for your paper and explain them. So basically, you're going to write out your sources in MLA format, and then under each of your sources, you're going to write a small paragraph explaining about the source, its content, its credibility, and how it's going to be used in your paper. So for example, this would be an example of an annotated bibliography source. So I have my source up here. I have John Smith, I have Smith, John, my example. I've got my website in italics, my publisher, my date, web, and this would actually change and be the link, web link. And what I would do is I would explain my source. So I have a sentence here that's my explanation. Smith's article discusses several example articles that can be used for academic essay as sources. I would say this article is from a credible website and it's founded by this journal, which is the leading source of example articles. So that leading source text is telling me that it's credible. And I plan to use this as a main source of my articles to discuss my essay. So I have my summary in a sentence, my credibility in a sentence, and how I'm going to use it in a sentence. That's the minimum you have to do. Just 3 sentences answering those 3 questions. Now, note, your summaries may be longer if you're actually talking in depth about the source. But that's basically all I want, is just 4 sources with 4 explanations in MLA format. So you want to make sure that your annotations are in alphabetical order. And then what you're going to do is do 4 sources for your paper, number 4, and create annotations for each one. What you want to make sure is that, 1, your sources cited correctly in MLA. 2, you include a summary of what the source is about. You show how you're going to use the source and why it's credible. So Your paper number 4 requires that you have at least 4 sources. So for this assignment, I would like you to include 4 sources. These do not have to end up being the sources you actually use in your paper. I just want to know that you can find 4 sources that will work. And then you'll notice down here at the bottom, if you find extra sources, any extra sources are extra credit. So I'll be honest, I've had some students find 20 sources and do 20 annotations and get extra credit for the 16 other sources. I've had students do it. I'm all for it. If you do it correctly, have at it. But the minimum is 4, and then anything extra is going to be extra credit. So make sure you put them in alphabetical order and that it's in a Word document and that you attach it to the Dropbox. All right, and if you have any extra questions, you can email me or let me know. So that's pretty much it for this week. There isn't any extra reading or anything like that. It's just working on your paper, doing these assignments. As of right now, I've looked at everyone's topics, and everyone's topics look like they're going to work fine. I've also graded everybody's discussion forum from week 6 and the drama exam. So I still have to grade your drama papers, and I'm going to be working on that the next couple of days. So we will have one more lecture video. I'm going to post a lecture video for week 8 on Sunday. If you go to your weekly assignments right now, you will probably notice that the final exam and paper number 4, those drop boxes are not open yet. So starting on Sunday, you'll be able to actually take the final exam and submit your final paper, but not until Sunday. And I would not submit your final paper until I've looked at your draft in the discussion forum and gave you feedback and you've made corrections. I've had some students do that, and I was like, well, don't submit it until you get your corrections back. I was like, you're getting eager there. So that's basically going to be next week. We're going to talk about that in the video. But for now, I'll just leave you guys for week 7. We're winding everything down and getting to the end of class. So as always, I hope that you guys had a safe weekend. I hope you stay safe this week. Take care. Have a good week. And please email me and let me know if you have any questions at all. But until then, I will talk to you guys later. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you guys again for the last video. Take care. Bye.